Hey, this is Chris, and I am Chuck and Dice. Thanks for watching my video. And I just recently went past 500 subscribers, so thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't yet, I would appreciate it. I'm still trying to crawl my way up toward 500, or 1,000. I'm halfway there at 500. So anyway, thanks for being a subscriber. Today, I'm going to try out a dark side strategy that I saw on Facebook. I saw it on Heavy's Wrong Way Craps forum, and it's a strategy from the Dice Doctor. And if you're interested in checking it out, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. I just happened to see it on Facebook. And Steve Heavy Haltom is the one who posted this, and he shared this strategy that the Dice Doctor, excuse me, calls Daddy Play. I don't really understand why he calls it Daddy Play, but it is an interesting strategy. I like it. It's a $360 buy-in, which is enough for 6 sessions of six $10 units each, and I'll show you how it works. But it's real simple, and it's a pretty low bankroller strategy, or at least a low buy-in strategy. And it goes like this: you start with 6 units of $60. So I'm sorry, 30. Let's try this again. I've got 6 shooters, and I've got $60 each. So $360. 6 shooters, $60 each, and I've got them divided into 6 units for each shooter. So that's how that's set up. You can see that in my rack there at the bottom of the screen, right down here. Anyway, so all you do is you start with a $10 don't pass, and then you go with a $10 don't come, and you try to get all 6 units out there. Now, if you did this successfully, you would literally cover all the box numbers. You would have the point and all the other 5 box numbers. That's nearly never going to happen, and you're not going to continue playing. If you lose it, you're done. So you're not going to keep going back up trying to get all the numbers covered. It's just not going to work that way. So what happens, according to the way Heavy described the play, is that you basically run it through for all 6 units of $10 each, and um, if the 7 or 11 shows up, you stop and you wait for the next shooter. I don't know what happens if you roll a 2 or a 3 and you win, but we're gonna see. We'll see if that happens. But then after that, um, if you get it all to travel, or it gets knocked down or whatever, you win. The 7 comes eventually. You're done with that shooter, and you move on, and you move through your progression that way. Now, if it's said that if you end up with 6 or more units left over when the 7 comes, then so you have a stack here of 60. If you end up with 60 or more units, then on the next shooter, you double it to $20, so 2 units, and you only do the don't pass and 2 don't comes. And that is, so you're using the same stack twice if you end up having at least 6 or more units. Um, so that's how that's going to work. Now, then after that, then you go back to playing through the next 6. So you go through all 6 sessions, all 6 shooters, and then you see where you're at. And if you are down, you walk away, go to a different table, do something different. Um, if you're up, I assume you continue playing at the table, and you work your way through it again. I don't know, but I like this strategy because you could play it with a $360 low roll or bankroll, or buy-in for that session, or you could come with more money than that, and that's just your buy-in for each table that you're trying to gauge the feel of the table at. So you can um, you can determine your own buy-in and whatnot based on that. But um, anyway, so let's just see how this goes. Sorry, I'm trying to read through the notes and make sure I explained that correctly, and I may be missing something, but I wanted to explain it to see, just so you get an idea of how this is before we start rolling it out. So we're just going to random roll this thing, and this is just a random roller type strategy, but I kind of like it on the dark side. Maybe this is something that could be done when you're not shooting. You know, use it with your while you're waiting on other players. So let's just see how this goes. We'll play this out and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we are going to start. So this is, I'm just going to start over here on the right side. And we're going to go with a $10 don't pass, and I'll use this for starters. Then I'll move it to the right side of the rack over here, and that'll be how I move through these 6 sessions. So we'll roll all of this out and see how it goes. $10 don't pass is how we get it started. And we got a 12 midnight. All right, that's not going to do anything. And there is a 3-3 hard 6. All right, so 6 is going to be our point. We got our first point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take $20 or $10 and we're going up through the DC. Second roll out. And now we got a 5, 3 and a 2. So we're going to take that 5 and travel it behind the 5, and we're putting another DC out. That's our third unit in action. And there's a 9, a 5, and a 4. 9. All right. So this is going to travel. This is going to require a lot of a lot of stretching over the table. All right. So now we've got one more unit out here. We're on to our 4th unit. And there's a 7. All right. So this shooter is done. We're going to lose the don't come, but we're going to get paid on the don't pass. We're going to get paid on the no 9 and the no 5. All right, so we pull all this down, and this was our first shooter. Now what we've got, so we still had 2 units to go. So we still had 4 units on that shooter, but we get to count all of that. So the way it plays is you count where you're at, and then you, hold on, sorry. You count where you're at. I'm just reading, make sure I do this right. And if you have more than 6 units, you continue on to the next round of the play. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 units. So we have more than the 6. We've met the threshold. Now we're into phase 2 of the strategy. So we're going to rack this up into our temporary rack for this next shooter. He says to go up to 2 units each. So there's $20. And to only do the DC twice. We're trying to, I guess we're trying to stack up our winnings here. So there's 2 units now. And new shooter coming out, and we got a 9. Okay, so 9 is going to be our first, that's the point. And we need $20 more in the DC. We're doing this twice. $20 in the DC twice. There's a 6, a 5, and a 1. So that don't come is going to travel behind the 6. And we get $20 more on the DC one more time. And there's a 6. All right, so we lost. Our 6 is going to fall on the DC. And this DC is going to travel. And that's where we stop. That's the commitment on the second round. So now we wait for the 6 or the 9 to resolve. And there's a 7. All right, I guess in this case, now this is a best case scenario. So the puck is going to off. We are going to get paid 20 and 20. All right. And that's all going to come back in our rack. And that was session number 1. Remember, that was actually 2 shooters because we ended up in a profit after the first shooter. So then we went into the second shooter. Now this is, I don't have a lot of red chips, so I'm going to exchange this. This is actually filling 1 rack. So I'm going to take that. Whoops. Wow, that went way over there. I'm going to get a black chip just to keep track. And I'm going to exchange it for all this red so that I keep my dealer stash plentiful. But that's one. After one session, I've still got 5 here, and we start the second progression. All right, so we're going to, sorry, just trying to think things through here. Make sure I do it right. All right, so checking the notes. And we're good. Okay, so, all right, so new shooter coming out. This is our second session of 6. And we'll just reload and shoot them out. Here we go. 6, 5, and a 1. So 6 is our point. And go with a $10 DC. And there's a 7. All right, so 7 out. This shooter, 0.7. We're going to lose the DC, but we're going to get paid on the don't pass. So that is a push, basically. And we're going to check where we're at because this was the second shooter, and I know where we're at because we basically pushed. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have all 6 units. That means we've qualified for the second shooter on the same bankroll or on the same session here. So this shooter is going into the second part of this where we put 3 bets out. We're going to start with 20 on the don't pass, and now new shooter, but now we're at $20 on the don't pass. And I can't see behind the white chips here. What do we got? We got, okay, let's try this. That is a 3. All right, so we got a 3, 5, 8. So 8 is the point. And we're coming out with another DC. This size is now $20, $20 DC. 3 units at $20 is what we're doing this time. And there's a 6. That's a 5 and a 1. 6. All right, so this DC is going to travel clear back here. And we take our third 20. That's why you need at least 6 units, because we've got $60 for this shooter invested now at this point. Our third DC, that's where it stops this time around. And that's going to be a 6, a 4, and a 2. Okay, so this DC is technically going to travel. This one's going to come down, but I'm just going to, for the sake of my stretching, we'll lose one of these anyway. So now we've got a DC 6, and we've got the original DP. We're just looking for this to resolve. 7 out, and just like that, we're done. All right, so not bad. And so let me get some chips. We're going to get paid 20 on the don't pass and 20 on the DC. No 6. And that is $80 right there for our second session of shooters. Now we just start the whole thing all over again. All right, so all right, sorry again. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. I think I got it all down. It's pretty simple. That's what I like about this. It's a pretty simple strategy. And yeah, we're going to end up with a new shooter and another $10 don't pass. We're on session number 3. There's an 8, hard 8. All right. If you like dark side play, this is a really simple idea. Really simple, and it doesn't take a lot of buy-in to make it happen. There's my don't come. And there's an 8. All right, so we're not through this yet, but we did resolve the point. So we're going to lose the don't pass. The DC is going to travel behind the 8. And we're going to start back over with another DC or DP, still using this original $60 for this particular session of shooter. All right, same shooter coming back out. 6, easy 6. All right, so 6 is the point. And now we still have some bank here for this shooter to resolve. We'll go back to the DC. And there's another 6. All right, we're hitting the 6 and 8s. 4, 2, easy 6. So 6 is the point. We're going to lose the don't pass. This DC is going to travel. We have 2 more units, so we're going back to the DP. We're going back on the don't pass. Same shooter, looking for another point. And there's a yo. All right, so the yo means that we lose on the don't pass. And the instructions say that this resolves this shooter. We're done with this shooter. What I don't know at this point is whether you let the 6 and 8 on the don't come resolve or whether you pull it all down and just stop. I'm not sure what you do at this point. We're still looking, the puck is off, and it's the same shooter, but we're done. At this point, he says if a 7 or 11 comes before you have everything out there, you're done. I'm going to go ahead and let it resolve before we move on. So I won't put any new action out. My new action is done, but I'll let the bets that are out there resolve themselves. Okay, so we've got the 6 and 8 on the no side, and there's an 8. That's going to be the point, and we're going to lose that DC. So now we've just got the 6. That's all we're waiting on. And there's another 8 point made. Doesn't really change anything for us. There's a yo. All right. Still looking for a point. There is a 7. All right. So that no 6 is going to pay. And that 7 means that we're done with this shooter. And we have only 3 units. Okay. So this shooter, or this session, this little bankroll here, mini bankroll, we're done with. We will wait for a new shooter at this point. So there's a 4. 4 is going to be the point. That's going to be a 6. Oh man, excuse me, I could not mute in time for that. My apologies. That's a 6. We're just looking for this shooter to be done. There's a 9. 6, 3, 9. Yo, 11. This shooter will go on a long roll now. There's a 6. 4, 2. Hard 6. 3 and a 3. There's a 10. Gonna make the all tall small on this shooter. That was 10 easy. And there's a 7 out finally. All right, so that shooter is done, and we are ready for the next one. So we're halfway through. Bear with us. We're gonna come back out. $10 on the don't pass. New shooter. And here we go. 7 on the come out. Now this is something I'm not sure about. So the puck is off. We have not even established a point yet, and we've lost our first don't pass. I almost feel like at this point, what this strategy is calling for is that you stop. You roll the 7 or an 11, and that kills this strategy. It's done for this little portion of the bankroll or of the session buy-in. This is done. But I'm not going to play it that way. I'm going to go ahead and play through it on the come out. I'll risk the come out, and if that's wrong, then I apologize for explaining it wrong, but I feel like if it was me, I would come back up. I wouldn't let the first come out 7 end that whole time for that shooter. So there's a 6, 6, 12 midnight. There's another 7. All right, so maybe that's why you do it this way. If I was done, I would not be losing anymore, but it's still a come out, and I'm still going to go ahead and play through this. So same shooter coming out. Aces. All right, so there we got one back in the reverse. That's going to be a $10 winner, and I'm going to put it right back with that particular chunk of money. Still the same shooter, and we're still looking for a point. Holy moly, that is a 7. All right, we are still looking for a point. Square pair, hard 8. That is going to finally be a point, and we did lose a couple times on that shooter, but now we're going up in the DC, and we're looking to build on this one. There's a 6, 4, 10. All right, so we're going to move the 10, move the DC behind the 10, and we'll get another DC. And there's a 10. Wow, wouldn't you know it, 10 hard. We knock this off. This is going to just get replaced with this. We'll bring this one down. And this has been a bad shooter, so maybe this would have been a time just to kill it on the initial come out 7. But We're playing through. Oh my, we got a back-to-back-to-back 10. That is brutal. And we lose the we lose the no 10, but the DC would have traveled behind the 10. And now all I have left from my original $60 for this shooter is $10 on the no 10 and the original no 8 on the DP. And that is the fourth 10 in a row. Hard 10. Fourth 10 in a row. If you were light siding it on that 10, you'd be killing it right now. In reality, at this point on the dark side, all I have left is my $10 don't pass. And there's the 8. All right. The 8 is going to be the point, and we're going to lose the don't pass. That complete shooter is gone. Bank is empty. We got nothing left. This shooter made the point, and we're out. We're just waiting. There's a yo. And on the dark side, this has been a crappy shooter, which is probably why they say just let it go. If you roll a come out 7, let it go. There's a 6. 6 is going to be the point. We're not playing. I'm just looking to roll this through to make it more authentic. There's a 9. That was a 5, 4, 9. It rolled 5, 4, 9. And there is a 4, 3, 7. All right, we got our 7 out. That shooter's done. We did not make our 6 units, so we are just moving on to the next shooter. Next shooter coming out. And here we go. 9. We got a 9. Nina. Center field. All right, now the second 10 goes into the DC. 8. Hard square pair. Square pair. That's going to be a no 8. And 10 more in the DC. All right, here we go. 3 craps. 3. Now, with that 3, we're going to get paid. I may have missed this before. We're going to get paid 10 on the DC. And I'm just going to rack it. And I'm not going to count it toward the 6. So it does count as a win, but it's not counted toward the 6. And there's a 9. 3, 6, 3, 9. That's the point. So we're going to lose the don't pass. And we do need to come back up. That's another one of the 6 units. I'm not using the winnings. 8. All right. So, of course, we are repeating numbers. We lose down behind the 8. And 8 is the new point. Oh, whoops. This is going to go replace that. And 8 is the new point. So now we've got... Wait, what did I just do? I just did something wrong. I've got a don't pass. And I've got no 8. Let's see. Let's think through this progression. The puck was off. That should have traveled before, maybe. Oh, you know what? It was the 9, right? The 9 was the point. I'm going to do that. I think that's right. The 9 was the point that was hit. I should have traveled the DC. I got a new don't pass that landed on the 8, and now we're good. I think that's the way it was. I am trying to rush through this as quick as I can to make the video not be quite so long. There's a 6. 4 and a 2 lumber, 2x4, no 6. And we have one more unit of 10 to go on the DC. Here we go. 3 craps, 3. AC deucey. Ace deuce on the loose. That's going to win 10 on the don't come, and I'm going to rack that right in my rack and save it. Still looking for the don't to travel, for that last DC to travel, and that's going to be a 6, 2, 8, which is our point. We lose the don't pass. Now I've got a 6, an 8, and a 9. Puck is off. Same shooter coming out, and we're all ready to go. And there's a 6, 4, 2. We lose down behind the 6. Got the 8 and 9 left. And there's a 7. 7 out. And let's see. So we don't have anything on the don't pass because we finished and resolved that. So we're going to get 10 here, 10 for the 9. And all this comes down to join our 2 units that we won here on the don't come. That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've met our 6 units, so we get to continue on with this particular session and the next shooter. So we're going to go $20 for 3 times. Here we go. 8, point of 8. All right, that's a 5 and a 3. We take the next $20, put it in the DC. Oh, we crashed into the chips and got an 8 again. 5, 3, 8. All right. So puck is off. We lose the don't pass. Okay, stretch. All right, this is going to come down behind the 8 or come to the 8. No 8. And I got one more unit of $20 to make this complete, and we'll put that on the don't pass. 3, ace, deuce. All right, so that one is going to get paid $20 on the don't pass. Put that right there, and we're still looking for that next point. There's an ace, deuce. All right, acey deucey. That means we won another 20 bucks. We'll just rack that. Still looking for another point. 8, square pair. Hard 8. So 8 is going to be the point, and unfortunately we lose down behind the 8. Now all we've got, this is our last 20 on this session, this roll. So we were just playing against that 8. 6, easy 6. 5 and a 1. 9. 5 and a 4. 5. That's a 3 and a 2. 5. 7 out. All right. 7. So that is the bonus session for this shooter. And that 20 is going to win 20. And put that in our rack and slide it over. And we have one session left. One session. So we're going to put 20 or 10 on the pass line. New shooter. And we got a point of 4. That's an easy 4. 3 and a 1. I'm liking this strategy. Sometimes it's probably going to kill you. But I like playing the dark side. So I usually play a hybrid, but I like this. So $10 to the DC. There's a 12. That's going to be a push. Nothing doing there. We'll just reload and start again. 10. Easy 10. I'm going to slide that DC up behind the 10. And put another 10 in the DC. Let's not roll 4 of those in a row like last time. 6. Easy 6. That's a 5 and a 1. So we got a traveler behind the 6, another DC. And there's the 7. That's going to be the end of this shooter. So 7 out. Let's see where we're at. This DC is going to come. We'll pay the don't pass. And we've got 10 here, 10 here. And I think we've got enough for a bonus session. Let's see where we're at. We also still had $20 in our rack that we didn't get to. So, yes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of 10. So we're going to put this back in our rack, and we get one more bonus session. And that's going to be at $20 each. So two of these units. Next shooter coming out, and we're playing 3 units of 20. There's a 5, 3, and a 2. Easy 5. Or hard, depending on how you feel about it. $20 on the DC. And here we go. 4, easy 4, 3 and a 1. That DC is going to travel all the way back down here behind the 4. All right. And we got one more unit of 20 to make up our third dark side bet. And of course, it's a repeater. We got a 3, 1, 4. So this 4 is going to come down. This 4 is going to come over here and replace it. So just pull it down like that. We have a 4, and we have the no 5 here on the point. And that's it for this shooter. There's a 9, 5, and a 4. And there's an 8, easy 8, 5 and a 3. Hard 6. Whoops, the dice rolled there. I can't flip it. That was a, well, whatever. It was a 3. It was a 3 and a 3. There we go. Hard 6. All right. And there's a 7 out. 5 and a 2. Cinco dos. We are, or Cinco dos adios. That I about said it wrong. That's funny. Okay, so we're going to need 20 here. 20 on the don't pass. This comes down, goes with what we already had, and moves over into our other rack where we're keeping everything. We have gone through all 6 shooters, or all 6 sessions, and let's see where we're at. Okay, so let's do it this way. We're going to just combine it all. I've got 100 from the original that I used to buy more red chips. Here's another 100, so let's do that. 200 for that. And we got another 100 here. There's 300. And we are almost, I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75. Whoops. Okay, there we go. 5 and 3. So 300, 375, 385, 390. All right, so 390, we started with 360. So there you go. A little bit of profit, $30 profit. That's not bad for a quick session, and probably got some free drinks if you're able to at your place. You probably got some rewards points because you're playing consistently every shooter. Maybe you were able to kill some time at the table. If you're playing on a $10 table, this is a great strategy, I think, for blowing some time. And, you know, if things went a little bit better, we had a lot of repeaters in there. If you get more don't pass or don't come bets traveling, you got the ability to rack up some more profits. So anyway, things go a little bit different. You could have maybe colored up a little bit better, but I like this strategy. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think, and appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.